Once you've completed the questions for any of the colleges that you're applying to, the next spot that it's going to bring you is for the recommenders and FERPA section. So this is explaining that before you can ask teachers or counselors or any other recommenders to submit letters on your behalf, you have to complete the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act release authorization process. And now when you click on this button, it's going to explain to you that this is stating that educational documents and educational records are legally things that you should have access to. And so this gives you technically the right to review your letter's recommendation provided as part of that application after you enroll. So that's an important piece to keep in mind. This does not mean you're going to have access to read your letter's recommendation before you apply. It just means once you're accepted to a college and decide to enroll there, if that college holds on to letters of recommendation, you would be able to go and request it. As it continues here at point 2, it says, in a moment, you'll be asked if you want to waive that right. Why would you want to do this? And it explains that waiving your right lets colleges know that you do not intend to read your recommendations, which helps reassure colleges that the letters are candid and truthful. Some recommenders, meaning your teachers or your counselors, may decline to write a letter for you if you don't waive your right. So just check with your counselor or teachers to see if we have such a policy. So this is just something to make you aware. It is absolutely your decision what you feel comfortable doing, and it's something that's appropriate for you to talk over with your parents. But it's just so you're aware that if you decide to waive your right, colleges understand that you have no intention of reading those letters. And so it means that it can be an absolute honest conversation and a confidential conversation between your teacher and those admissions counselors who are reading your letter's recommendation. Keep in mind, I don't think any of you would be asking a teacher to write you a letter of recommendation if you didn't think that they had good things to say about you. So I don't anticipate this being an issue. But as it mentions here, if you're still unsure and don't feel comfortable moving forward without having a little bit more of a conversation, feel free to reach out to your counselor individually and we can go from there. But if you're okay with saying, yes, I've read this and I understand what this means, you can move on to continue. And first, it's going to ask that you are okay with Butler being able to send your records and recommendations to any of the colleges that you apply to. And this is saying that every school that you've attended, so in case you're a transfer student, it means that those records would technically be coming from the other high schools as well. So you're just agreeing that you're okay with sharing that information from one school to the next. And then once you say, yes, I agree to that, it's going to ask you if you waive your right or not. Just as an example, I'm going to say, yes, I waive my right. And as we scroll down a little bit, you'll see it says, I understand that my waiver or no waiver selection pertains to all of the colleges I apply to, and that I can't pick and choose from one college to the other, and I can't change anything once I sign and click save. So I am saying, yes, I understand that, and I'm going to put the date in, and then I'm going to hit save and close. And so because we just hit that last button and said, I understand that this answer applies to every college I apply to, yes, we have this green check mark under Montclair where we filled it out. But if I click on Ramapo, you'll see we have the green check mark there. If I scroll down and click on Stockton, you're going to see the green check mark is there as well. And so it's just something else, again, for you to be aware of, that once you fill that out, it applies to all of your colleges and we can't go back and change it. Now, having this section filled out is going to allow us to connect with the Naviance account that you have so that the teachers and the counselor letters that are stored there can now be submitted electronically to the Common App, which is how the colleges will get access to it. So that's just something else for you to be aware of. I know it says that you can invite recommenders here on the Common App, but I don't want you to worry about that because, again, we do everything through Naviance, which is why you'll see these check marks are showing up as well because it already says that you're set. So I don't want you to worry. You wouldn't have to do anything there. All right. I'm actually going to hit continue from here. And this is giving me a nice alert saying that I can't submit anything to Montclair because I have a practice account. But once you have completed all the sections of the Common App, which right now we didn't complete the writing section. And once you complete all the sections within one of your colleges, you're going to be able to click this review and submit button, and you will actually see a submit button on this screen. It's pretty impossible to accidentally apply to a college because one, it warns you about every section that might not be complete before you try to submit. But even if I had completed the writing section and that submit button was here, when you click the submit button, the first couple steps it's going to take you through are ways to review the application, to view it as a PDF, and it asks you to be sure. And then it's even going to ask you for payment unless you're a student who's using a fee waiver for any reason. So that brings us through a lot of the information on this page, and most of the steps of the application from start to finish. So again, if there are any questions or if you have any individual unique situations, never hesitate to reach out to us and we can help you through everything.